Right, okay, we're at Parkgate Fish and Chips, and it's near Neston in Parkgate, and we're just on the River Dee estuary, and we used to live just across the Dee estuary in a place called Tan Lan, and our house was called Tan Lan Back. The first thing that struck me with the chippy was it was heaving. It is a Sunday, not many chippies are open on a Sunday, so a lot of people are taking advantage of that, and it's something to note. If you're up this way, just on the far side of the Wirral, the west side of the Wirral, and the price. Well, we'll go through everything first because I spent £30 here. The salt and pepper chips were actually £5.20, I think, and really, for that kind of money, you don't really necessarily get an awful lot, but they are nice. There's plenty of onion in there, there's plenty of chilli, bell peppers. Yeah, they're nice. We've got Parkgate Fish and Chips, Chow's Street Food. Let's have a look at the fish and chips. Just a standard fish and chips. The Haddock was £7 something, £7.20 again maybe. But let's give the fish a try. Okay. The batter isn't so bad. At least it's not gooey on the inside there. It's actually not bad. Let's try their curry sauce. And I'll dip a little bit of fish in it. Oh, that's nice. Proper chippy curry, but with a little bit more spice and a little too much salt. So let's try and dip a little bit of fish in here. Yeah, that actually goes well. Close that back up for a minute while I cut this fish. Again, let's try it if there's a thick end here. It's nice. The ordinary chips. They're nice.
Got a good job, haven't you?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Right, okay, what we've got here is we've got the steak pie made on the premises, and the sausage actually looks quite good. It looks like it's kind of got a Cumberland sausage look to it. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite nice. It's meaty. Instead of, you get that stuff, it's like ground, it's like a mince, but it's a very fine ground. And no, it's nothing like it. It's got plenty of meat going on in here. And you can see the chunks of meat in there and the herbs. Okay, I'm going to cut this pie in half. This is a steak pie, like I say, and it's made right there. So let's give it a little look at that. Oh, no, that's getting a no. Look at that. Just on looks alone. It's a skirt. I would say the beef was skirt. So let's have a little bite. There's plenty of it. Look at that. Look. That is delicious. No, that really is nice. The pastry is suet based, which is really nice. And you can tell that. You can see the moisture in the pastry. And you can see it's almost pretty much like you would make a steak and kidney pudding. And a lot of pies are made like that with a suet based pastry. This is a chicken pie. Now, I don't know whether it's chicken and mushroom, but let's get stuck in and find out. I'm going to cut it in half. Oh, there's plenty of mushroom going on in there. And again, it's a suet based pastry. It's nice, it's moist, it's crispy on the top, and it's packed. I wouldn't be bothering reviewing these pies if I knew there were, say, pucker pies, which are great, or Hollands pies, another one that's a great one. But I'll review a pie that they make, and I think that's what's important. You know, I'm reviewing the whole deal, not just the food, but the shop itself, the service, how clean it is, where it's situated even can make a difference. Parking can make a difference, which it was quite slim, but then again, you know, we are on a Sunday. I think if you was to come in the week, you wouldn't really have much of a problem. But I do love this pie. If this fish and chip shop was well inland and there wasn't anything for us to see, there wasn't the Dee estuary and Wales just across the other side of that, North Wales here, for those who are abroad, maybe it wouldn't be as appealing. But that's not to say there's anything wrong with it. We're going to look at some reviews, good and bad, and then I'm going to write my review. What I think of the place, what I think of the service, what I think of everything put together. And that's how we do our reviews. It's not just on an item of food. So we'll see you back there. So as you can see by that, it was quite enjoyable. And it was, it's a shame it was a bit of a cold day. The wind was howling, so the sound quality was a little bit tricky. So I had to do a little bit of editing there to sort of get some of the wind noise out, even though I had a dead cat on my microphone. But yeah, I used to live, my wife and I used to live across the Dee estuary. But regarding the chippy, well, it was good. Without a doubt, it was good. But what excelled were the pies and the sausage. I mean, you wouldn't think, would you? But a lot of chippies buy their pies in from Hollands pies or pucker pies or something like that, or the local bakery. But these, they said, were made in the shop. So I had to have a couple of them. So I got two pies. I got a chicken and mushroom pie and a steak pie, as you saw. And they were packed with meat, big chunky bits of meat in them. But unlike factory pies, or if you like, these look like they've been stood on, you know, or dropped a few times. That's the kind of roughness of these pies. And it was perfect. They were absolutely gorgeous. And I think if I was ever in that region again, which is highly likely, I think I'll be popping in and grabbing a few pies. Let's have a look at some reviews. 2-star, a week ago. Went over a weekend, first fish was not cooked. The second was all batter, and the third was like a skin graft. It was that thin. Extremely disappointed with the quality of the food. They dined in. 3-star. Went Saturday night about 6 p.m, so not just opened or closing. And my fish was lukewarm and not much of it either. But the chips were a bit better, but overall portions small for the cost. So for that reason, I will never go back to this chip shop again and will buy elsewhere. A month ago, 5-star. Love this place. Chinese owned, but not the usual Chinese chippy. This is a traditional fish and chip shop with only the best fish served, eat in or take away. Really nice pies too. So yeah, I'm not on my own with the pies, that's for sure. Tea and bread and butter to top off a really nice meal is recommended. Usually a queue, but worth the wait. Mine, 4-star. Parkgate is a charming town on the west coast of the Wirral, and Parkgate Fish and Chips fits perfectly with its traditional local architecture, restaurant and takeaway chip shop. The staff were friendly and efficient, with the order ready in no more than 10 minutes. The fish and chips were satisfactory, as were the salt and pepper chips, but the homemade steak pie and chicken and mushroom pie were exceptional. They were packed with meat and thick gravy. The large sausage was also excellent, being meaty and far from cheap and cheerful. This brings us to the prices. They were somewhat high, but considering the location and the quality of the pies and sausage, it was worth paying a bit more than you might inland. Parking was challenging, although there are spaces along the road. It's best to arrive early or midweek. Overall, it was a pleasant experience and I might just return for those pies. Cooking in oil, fish reviewed haddock, hygiene rating 5, cash or card. Join me on the next one. This is a brand new channel for 2024. So if you like this video, subscribe, share it, like it, hit the notification bell. And if you have any recommendations in your area, put them in the comments. Thank you.